Welcome to Dolly Talk. How is everybody doing? Is my hair all messed up? Good Lord. All right. We are on day two of the Goebel versus Hopkins defamation trial. Let's go. Hey, Erica. Emily is back. How you doing? Yes, I was late. Sorry, Matt. I hope it goes better for you. Let's see. Mads is here. Nidawau, Scott. Today was fairly uneventful, except for a few witnesses. They had a couple, like they had his or maybe a specialist, just to kind of introduce. Yet he has sarcoidosis and is sad, has PTSD from dealing with the very terrifying, frightening one-legged man in a wheelchair. Because I don't his GP. That's what. Okay, thank you. So I thought it was, but I think Scott said it was a specialist. I was a little confused. Then they got to be more afraid of his wife. We get into his psychiatrist or psychologist therapist guy, and they talk about his issues, and we'll play that. His wife they have intimacy issues. It's very sad. Oh, I love that, Nidawau. That was brilliant. Yes, thank you for reminding me. And we get into the defense kind of goes after his former lawyer, the plaintiff's former lawyer. Thought it was a specialist. He's only seen him a handful of times. That could be. Yeah. Then we got his massage therapist takes the stand. A little disconcerted because he looks kind of like me, just a little creepy. And then we got the guy who bought the house after Tom sold it. So, without further ado, let's start with the psychiatrist, I believe it is, or this guy. He's here to fix all your sexual issues. Well, Maddie, a little rub and tug. Well, he helped around the house a lot. He went from visiting once a month to once a week. He did a lot of things for him. I got really sketch vibes. I'm just saying. Hey, Tracy, how you doing? Louise is here.
I had no other direct outside information.
Just in time.
But did you interview Dr. Goebel about the facts in his life?
Yes.
Do you recall what he told you?
And I skipped the voir dire a little bit. Oops.
Those facts were?
That's good, Paul.
Yes. If I'm going to summarize, obviously.
Yes.
Basically, he was having some severe anxiety and panic attacks. And the difference between anxiety and a panic attack is a panic attack. For those of you who've had one, I'm sorry. And for the rest of you, it's hard to believe. But a panic attack is when you suddenly, like over less than a minute, you suddenly feel like your heart rate goes up to well over 100. You feel like it's going to pound out of your chest. A lot of people end up going to an emergency room because they think they're having a heart attack. And you feel like you have to either run away or you have to fight. It would be like if
Scott,
a vicious dog jumped out in front of you, and within a minute you're
oh yes, those terrifying miniature Australian shepherds that are like 25 pounds. Terrifying.
Body is secreting adrenaline and it has you just terrified. And that's what a panic attack is, which is different from just anxiety. Anxiety is just a pervading feeling that something bad is going to happen, but it doesn't have all the, it doesn't frequently have the associated adrenaline and sudden heartbeat and feeling like you're going to have a heart attack right now.
Thank you. And to take that a point further, were there some facts or events that Dr. Goebel shared with you that led you to your conclusions?
Yeah, at one point he was out to dinner and he heard a loud noise, and it was at a restaurant, and he dove under the table at the restaurant. He reported that he had purchased a gun and was keeping the gun at home because he was afraid of Mr. Hopkins.
Yes, that's what we want. Somebody with a gun who's terrified of every noise in the night. What could go wrong?
And that Mr. Hopkins had threatened to kill him. And that when he would walk by a window at home, and especially if he heard a sound at that time, that could precipitate a panic attack. He was, and in the office appeared hyper vigilant, at times would become tearful.
I'm sorry to keep pausing, but it's really hard to take this serious when they're comparing what people went through in Nam and Desert Storm in the Gulf War and all these horrific battles and all the soldiers that have lifelong debilitating PTSD. And this guy's afraid of a guy with one leg in a wheelchair because he played rap music and flashed lights at him and yelled at him. Like, it feels slightly exaggerated.
Describing how he wishes his life was back the way
And a very
it was
loud Lambo,
before
yeah.
all this had happened. Now, he did have some problems previously in that he has sarcoidosis of the heart and of other parts of his body, which is basically your immune system's attacking your body. And the sarcoidosis had gotten bad enough that he had to resign from a active dental practice. And that had been, I don't know, 4 or 5 years perhaps. I don't know the exact date before he came to see me. It was at that time relatively in remission, but he would go on prednisone periodically when a symptom would flare up. And his sarcoid symptoms, such as swelling in his hands and some joint pain, was flaring up more often than it had been previously.
Okay. And you mentioned Mr. Hopkins, who's the defendant in this matter. Share with the jury what Dr. Goebel described to you as being activities that Mr. Hopkins had undertaken.
Okay. As I understood it, Dr. Goebel had reported that Mr. Hopkins lived next door, and he wanted to build a garage or a barn on property that would come much closer to his property and be a violation of the homeowners association rules. Dr. Goebel didn't want that, and so he told Mr. Hopkins that no, he wasn't going to agree to this. He didn't want a large barn or building built on the property between them. And then that gradually escalated into more problems, and Mr. Hopkins wanted Dr. Goebel to move so that then he could perhaps build his building. And he described Mr. Hopkins is doing multiple things to
Jesus,
make living
Mads.
in this house not possible, like shining lights at the house late at night and making noises that were directed at the house all day long.
Thank you,
and
man.
it escalated to the point that,
It's not that.
well, when Dr. Goebel was still refusing to move, that Goebel threatened to kill him. And as all this developed, he believed the threat and then started developing the panic attacks and the depression, anxiety. He had withdrawn from a lot of his usual activities. He was not playing golf, which is something he liked to do. He wasn't hanging out with friends as much. He was fearful to go out. And he recognized that all this was an overreaction, maybe, but he wasn't certain of that. He described seeing Hopkins in a court situation out in the hall and virtually having a panic attack from seeing him in the hall, fearful that he might shoot him, even though he later realized that he was very unlikely he could have a gun in the courtroom. But rational thinking doesn't stop panic attacks. They just come out of the blue when the underlying circumstance is threatening, or if something similar to the initial problem happens.
Dr. Thomas, let me ask you this. He came to you you said May of 2022. Did he relate to you any events that had occurred close in time to when he came to you?
This had been developing over time. I'd have to look at my notes to see.
Well, let me just ask you this. Was there any mention of any publications?
Oh, yes. He reported that Mr. Hopkins he didn't have it. An article had been published in the Inquirer that described Dr. Goebel actually as being threatening to him, to Mr. Hopkins, and said a number of things about him that were not true. But apparently Hopkins knew a reporter and managed to get this story published. And I believe it was even on the front page of the Inquirer. I did not personally see the story or read it myself.
Yeah, doctor, I would like you just to confine your testimony to what you used from Dr. Goebel to reach your medical conclusions. But let me move on. So you recall a newspaper article. Were there any other publications that come to mind around that time?
The only one that's coming to mind at the moment is the newspaper article, but there was ongoing contact from Hopkins in other forms, phone calls and text messages.
That's fine. Thank you very much, sir. And you've already mentioned that you had diagnosed Dr. Goebel with PTSD. Is that right?
Correct.
Were the events that you've described a part of that diagnosis?
Yes.
Okay, and explain to the jury just briefly how you as a psychiatrist connect the dots between events that your patients describe to you and you reaching a diagnosis.
With PTSD, there's usually a relatively specific precipitating event. It's not typically that although there can be some background issues that can affect it. For example, soldiers that get PTSD are much more likely to come from unstable childhood or life experiences, whereas soldiers that have a very supportive and non-stressful life before an event are less likely to develop PTSD. It doesn't mean they can't, but the percentage of them that develop is lower. The precipitating event needs to be like a specific event. And what Dr. Goebel described to me was when Hopkins threatened to kill him, and that was repeating now, that he constantly had the fear that Hopkins was indeed going to either kill him or have him killed or something so that he could build his barn. And all these other things I had mentioned fed into his fear that Hopkins would actually kill him.
Well, you don't have to worry
So
about
that was his fear.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna delve into some opinions now and some of the supporting facts over your diagnosis of Dr. Goebel. But are you familiar with the standard of reasonable psychiatric probability?
Sure.
And explain to the jury what that is.
It's when you have enough evidence from a number of different information that you've gathered that you're reasonably certain that they have a particular disorder, which is why I mentioned that he had some cognitive dysfunction as well, that he was having trouble concentrating, he'd lose his train of thought, he would become tearful.
Wait, what did he say?
Describing various things that had happened. His what we call affect, which is the emotional tone that a person has. And so in our everyday functioning, there's both what we're talking about, but there's also the emotion associated with what we're talking about. And he would become tearful at times. He would get tremulous as he would begin to shake. And all these other things, like he would be talking about the Inquirer article and lose his train of thought. He would discuss about how he'd been trying to get his study at home organized, and he couldn't get started on it. And it was he felt it was a mess, and other things like that at home he was having trouble to do. It was interfering with his relationship with his wife. I mean, he clearly still loved her, and they still cared about each other.
Really?
But his relationship with her he was withdrawing, and of course that's pretty difficult in a marriage, at least initially.
Your Honor, objection. Overruled.
You may continue, Doctor.
Well, let me stop you, because did you ask him this question based on a reasonable degree of psychiatric probability?
I asked him if he rendered a diagnosis and what factors led to that. I think he said yes, and then what factors led to that. But I can start over. And,
well, he's giving some opinions, so all you have to do is ask him if those opinions are based on this probability.
Okay. Doctor, are your opinions based upon a reasonable psychiatric probability?
Yes. I mean, everything that he reported to me was consistent with somebody who had, as I said at the beginning, PTSD, as well as anxiety, depression, and some cognitive dysfunction, attention primarily.
Okay. Thank you. So you mentioned a little bit about marital relationship and functioning. Can you explain to the jury what was going on with Dr. Goebel during the time period that you treated him in that regard?
He described avoiding everybody, including his wife, and he would go down in his office that he wanted to arrange and sit and do
go
nothing.
down with his massage therapist, maybe.
Okay, and did he share with you any concerns about intimacy with his wife, to your recollection?
Yes.
And tell the jury what those concerns were.
He was avoiding intimacy with her. That he didn't. His libido, his sex drive, was remarkably decreased.
And just, Doctor, if I may, is that what you just testified to in your medical or in your psychiatric opinion, and within the realm of reasonable probability for a psychiatrist, is what you just said the result of PTSD?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I apologize. In your meetings with Dr. Goebel, did you come to any conclusions as to whether he had had PTSD prior to his interactions with Mr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Share with the jury.
As I mentioned earlier, when a person has a panic attack, for probably half of you have had a panic attack at some point in your life. I had one when I was in medical school. And you remember the exact circumstances you were in when you had your first panic attack. And that's the way he
I don't.
described his first panic attack. It was a specific episode of where he was being felt that that Mr. Hopkins was threatening to kill him, and that it might happen right then. And then that would come back. The panic attack would reoccur when other types of things happened that reminded him of that.
Does the condition and the diagnosis that you have described to the jury, are there potential other causes for that, or did you exclude those?
It is possible to develop some panic attacks, but not. Let me put it this way: I've never seen a person have panic attacks that wasn't relative to a specific event. Okay, it could happen, but it would not be typical.
Okay. Did you identify anything that might?
No, I mentioned that he had sarcoidosis, and that had to quit his medical practice, and there have been other stressors in his life, of course, but he had not had any panic attack in response to those other situations.
Okay. Doctor, I'd like to next turn to the treatment that you've provided to Dr. Goebel as a result of this diagnosis of PTSD. Can you share with the jury what you've advised him to do in response to your diagnosis?
Sure. He was already on some sertraline, which is it's a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, which means it increases serotonin in the brain, and serotonin tends to calm us down. But what I focused on was helping him to develop some coping strategies to keep the panic from occurring, and in particular to learn meditation, to learn ways of systematic relaxation, where you can, when you start to notice that your affect, as I mentioned earlier, was increasing or becoming anxious, that you can do things to cut things off there so it doesn't escalate into another panic attack. Those are the main things.
Okay. Now, are you still treating Dr. Goebel?
No, as I said, I retired
Dr.
at the end of
Goebel?
August. I referred him to a psychologist, actually, that I had trust in.
About how many times
You
did
didn't
and
want to
Dr.
see him
Goebel,
anymore.
meet for treatment?
About 114.
And are those reflected in your notes up there? You don't have to count them out to 114.
Yeah, no, I mean,
does that look like what you do when somebody comes for those visits?
The numbers are not in these notes. They're in the computer the electronic medical record that I use.
So you had 114 visits with Dr. Goebel. Did I hear you correctly?
Correct.
Okay. You mentioned the treatment for the meditation techniques and things like that. Tell the jury about any, you mentioned some of the prescription drugs that you had suggested to him. Tell the jury what drugs you prescribed.
I prescribed a medication called prazosin, because another characteristic of PTSD is to have nightmares. And in your nightmare, you're re-experiencing either the exact event or something that thematically encapsulates the event, as you're having a dream about a situation where you're feeling that your life is being threatened immediately. And as I mentioned earlier, the adrenaline gets released. Well, prazosin is also called mini-press. It's more commonly used for blood pressure. But for people who have PTSD, especially with nightmares, it helps prevent the nightmares. So it prevents the adrenaline from being released and peaking. In panic attacks, you frequently have almost always a burst of adrenaline, and the prazosin helps block that adrenaline from manifesting, which then would assist his ability in doing other things, like first of all, sleep better, which is very important. And because he's sleeping better, then he's feeling better, and then he's withdrawing less from his wife, he's withdrawing less from friends. He can go out and go on some hikes. When he was out of town, he would visit his daughter in Colorado.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sorry, I didn't.
What's the basis?
Narrative.
We assumed her gender.
It's just answering the question. I'll overrule the objection.
Sir, do you recall where you were in your answer? I think you were talking about taking some trips and hikes. And this was in context of the prazosin, which you,
Yeah, the
I'm sorry.
prazosin helped him sleep better, which helped him have decrease his overall anxiety, and would help him to do other things like go out to lunch with friends, spend time with his wife, those sorts of things. But it's primarily used to block the adrenaline that interrupts sleep.
And did you prescribe that in response to your diagnosis?
And yes, and in response to the fact he's having nightmares.
In your medical or in your psychiatric opinion, within the realm of reasonable probability, do you believe that these nightmares were part of the PTSD?
Yes, they're a common feature of PTSD.
Thank you. And did you recall prescribing him any other medications?
Well, I told him to stay on the sertraline, and had recommended that he increase it a little bit also.
What is sertraline for?
It's the serotonin reuptake inhibitor. It increases serotonin in the body, which helps with anxiety and with depression.
And again, within the realm of reasonable medical probability, did you prescribe that medication in response to the PTSD diagnosis?
I don't remember
Okay.
if I actually prescribed it or just recommended he increase what he's on.
Okay. What about Ramelteon?
Oh, right, Ramelteon. Yeah, I did prescribe that.
Tell the jury why you did.
Ramelteon, because he's having trouble sleeping. Ramelteon is a sleep medication that's not addictive and increases. I'm blocking on it. There's two neurotransmitters in the brain that are increased by Ramelteon that foster sleep.
I'm wrapping up on this, and this is just to satisfy everybody. Have the opinions that you've offered to the jury today all been offered within the realm of reasonable psychiatric probability?
Yes.
Okay. Sir, I'm now going to approach you with what we've marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit 11. And I provided the counsel oriented copy. If you had a chance to review that, please tell the jury what that document is.
It's a list of charges to Medicare and of their payments. And since my office assistant does all the billing, I've never seen these.
Okay. Do you recognize those as being?
Yes, these are all consistent. They're all indicate the charges of seeing,
Do you keep that kind of summary of charges in the normal course, or before you retired, in the normal course of your practice?
Yes.
Okay. And in your view, is that an accurate copy of charges that were assessed to Dr. Goebel?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the top line charge per hour for those visits?
220 for a 50-minute session.
Okay. So you had 114 visits at $220 an hour?
Well, the diagnostic, the initial session is 370.
Okay. So one at 370 and the balance at 220.
Right. I don't recall if there was any half-hour sessions. I don't think so, but there could have been.
But at least for the 114 sessions, it was the 220 or the 340. Right. Your Honor, may I consult with the co-counsel?
Yes.
So back to the issue of your opinions. Are those opinions consistent with your observations in meetings with Dr. Goebel?
Completely.
I have nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Doctor.
We'll take our morning break. Basically, restroom break. We'll be back as soon as we can. Doctor, you cannot discuss your testimony with anyone, including attorneys.
Yeah, this is from today.
Okay.
This morning.
Please rise.
So I think we got caught.
I think it just shows there's no case number.
Yeah, it should be.
Matt, Coach on.
Yes. This is what you got.
Yeah, these are the notes, and they're here backwards, and they go back here to there. And then I have a list of notes that I gave the patient, and I think that's all that's in here. Right.
So I think you have a portion of what was pre-marked as plaintiff's exhibit 14. Is that right?
Right, I only the office knows what he has.
And let me show you what we'll mark as defendant's exhibit G, and ask you to take a look at that. Can I have a copy of it? It's the first part of your exhibit 14. I'm not mentioning a copy. I took it online.
Okay, yeah.
Your Honor, I'd like to be able to review the exhibit before his question.
Okay. Why don't you just,
And Your Honor, just for counsels,
it's exhibit 14,
it's
right?
exhibit 14 of their plaintiff's exhibits.
It's your exhibit 14. Go ahead.
It's
Okay.
not, it's,
That's what he's saying.
It's a diagnostic.
Okay, thank you. And is that your diagnosis of the PTSD?
Yes.
And you had a secondary diagnosis of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder?
Yeah, the inattentive type, which means, yes.
Okay. And that was another diagnosis you had as a Chuck Goebel?
Yes, correct.
And then on the second page of that, there's a reference to Mr. Hopkins. And then it says, because he's PD, does that stand for paranoid delusional? What is PD?
Objection, Your Honor. I apologize.
Amy, what paragraph you're on?
Yes. So it's the second paragraph, second line.
Okay, for now, overrule the objection until the doctor has a chance to.
The history of present illness?
Yes, the second paragraph there on the second
I
line.
found it.
Okay. And at the end of that second line, it says, because he's
Usually
PD.
PD usually means personality disorder.
Okay. And who made that diagnosis? Was that done by Mr. Goebel?
No, that was my thinking about my understanding of how Hopkins and Dr. Goebel, I should say this, Hopkins' management of the situation with Dr. Goebel.
So you diagnosed Mr. Hopkins as?
No, I didn't diagnose him. That's a way of reminding me that Mr. Hopkins probably has a personality problem.
Okay, based on what Chuck Goebel told you?
Right.
Oh, thank you,
And then
man.
if you look at that same paragraph down at the bottom, there's a parenthetical. It says, spent lots of time suing Hopkins. Do you see that?
It's parenthetical.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
parenthetical.
Spend
yes,
it all
I
at
do.
once.
And
Thank
is
you so
that
much,
something
Matt.
that Chuck Goebel told you he spent a lot of time suing Hopkins?
Yes. There have been lawsuits going back and forth. I'm not an attorney, so I wasn't specifically addressing cases in court. I was talking about back and forth legal problems.
Well, your words are spent
said-
lots of time suing Hopkins, correct?
Right.
And that was based on your conversation
Right.
with Chuck Goebel.
So he starts to throw the lawyer.
Okay,
under the
let's
bus
move
here.
to what counsel identified as Exhibit 11, and I'm gonna work in chronological order. So I guess you would go
Okay.
from the back. And so 5/10/22, was that your initial session with Chuck Goebel?
I think the diagnosis was 4/27/22.
So that would have been your
That
first.
would have been the first time I met with him.
So this was was 5/10/22 your second visit?
I believe so. Just a minute.
And in your notes there, it says that Mr. Goebel discussed his childhood esteem issues with you,
Correct. That's probably right.
Aw.
and he indicated that his wife has low testosterone.
Wait,
We're on-
what?
5/10/22. I believe the wife entry is on the
Yeah,
last entry.
I've got it here now.
Excuse me?
Sorry to get the flip off.
What?
And he indicated that his wife has low testosterone.
Where did he meet his wife? San Francisco?
We're on
5/10/22. I believe the wife entry is on the last
Yeah,
entry.
I've got it here now. I'm sorry. I get the off.
Yeah, we got a
page.
Oh, I think that when they said his wife, I think they meant his massage therapist.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, Hella has low T as well.
Okay.
So my question was, in that second session, Chuck discussed his childhood esteem issues and problems with his wife's low testosterone.
Right.
And there's nothing in those notes about Mr. Hopkins, correct?
Oh, she is sitting there just like, God damn it, honey. You just had to fucking sue him, didn't you? She is so pissed right now. There you go. You got low T, sweetie.
No, there's not.
She's the one.
Let's go to the next page, and that is, I believe it works up from the bottom chronologically. Is that correct in your notes on the page?
That's correct.
Okay. So on the bottom there, 517, 22. And the initial beginning of the note says, went to Who concert with Dan Walters. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And is that your patient?
She kind of does have a Bridget Marcone vibe going to her. Oh, just look at that look she is giving him right now. Oh, she is steaming. She is hot under the collar. Oof.
That referred
Yes.
Chuck to. And then if you go down at the end of that paragraph, it said, patient is setting limits on
She just
Grossman's
looked at her
calls
husband
lately.
like, God damn
Discussed how to manage Grossman's endless calls.
it. Here.
That was part of your lately. And then if you go down that referred
Yes.
Chuck to.
Yeah.
And is that your patient?
Oh, that look on her face is so good. She is pissed off. Oh, I think irritability is a symptom of low testosterone. So it's all coming together now. Yeah, and they eventually call her asexual as well. Ooh. That she is just ice cold right now.
That referred
Poor thing.
Yes.
Chuck to. It's called. And below you say moderate anxiety and dysthymia, correct?
Right. Just sign it. Right.
Dysthymia. And just so I believe we will come up upon that phrase again, and then its partner is euthymia. Is that how you pronounce it?
Dysthymia. Yeah.
Dysthymia and euthymia.
Euthymia, I don't think was there, but the dysthymia.
Okay, right. And
Is that
so
the names they
my
call each
question
other
was,
in
let's just
role-playing?
address this now.
Okay.
Could you just tell us the difference between the two, dysthymia and euthymia?
Okay. Dysthymia is like mild depression that the person can function, but they get no enjoyment out of things. They can have some minor difficulties. Otherwise, euthymia.
Yes, this is the problem when you file a lawsuit and seek emotional distress. It opens up your entire medical record.
Your mood's normal.
Stable, tranquil.
Yeah.
And then if we go up to the next one on 52422, the first line says, I'm doing well, correct?
Right.
And that's something that Chuck would have told you?
Correct.
And then you go down, the next line, it says, patient is setting limits on his attorney, Tom Grossman.
Right. That's a few lines later.
Do you have any recollection of what he meant by setting limits on his
Yes.
attorney?
Yeah.
What was that?
What I'd recommended that he do. His attorney.
Just before we get this part's good, but I just want to go over some of the symptoms of low testosterone in women. We got decreased libido. She's not putting out. She got fatigue, infertility, muscle weakness, sleep disturbances, vaginal dryness, irregular menstruation, depressed mood, anxiety, hair loss, weight gain, bone decrease. Affected sexual satisfaction. Well, there you go. Chronic stress, acne, boy.
Time was Mr. Grossman, who would almost,
Oh, hey,
it sounded
Kat.
like Grossman was calling him up almost every day and discussing the situation with Hopkins, which was exacerbating everything. Because if you go back to the memory when you had the panic attack and what your fear of, and then somebody's reminding you about it every day, not a good thing. And so I was trying to help him figure out how he could set limits on that.
And is it your recollection that Dr. Goebel told you that he had a panic attack after the death threat?
Yes.
And would your opinion about your PTSD diagnosis change if you were told that the death threat never happened?
Probably.
Then it says patient limits ETOH. That refers to alcohol, correct?
Alcohol, right.
By being a designated driver, correct?
On what note do you
Oh,
want?
I'm sorry. Yeah, 5422. That's the middle one. And then right above objective, the sentence above objective. Oh, I'm sorry, 52422.
524.
Yeah, the sentence above objective.
Yeah, okay. We're up under the subjective part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, a patient limits alcohol by being designated driver.
Okay. And then under objective, you have, you include moderate anxiety and dysthymia again, and then decreased libido for years and sleeping well.
That's what it says here, right?
Okay, and that would, all this would have been based on your discussions with Chuck, correct?
Right.
And then if we go on the one on the top, 6922, Chuck says, I still look over my shoulder in Mason. And, you know, was he referring there to looking over his shoulder in regard to Mr. Hopkins?
Right.
Okay. And had he told you that Mr. Hopkins had moved away and out of Mason almost a year before?
Yes.
Let's go to the next page.
All righty.
And we start on the bottom, of course, 61422.
Okay.
And under subjective in the beginning, it says, when I first came, I needed to document what Tim had put me and my family through. And do you know, did that mean document for legal reasons?
Yes. I think that he was implying that Tim wanted, his attorney wanted him to document what was going on.
And did he explain to you that he and his attorney had initiated 2 separate lawsuits, including the one we're in court here today, against Mr. Hopkins?
Let me look at the note. I don't know. I mean, yeah, well, yeah. I mean, because he was saying he wanted, so yes, I knew that at that point.
Okay. And then right below that, it says Diane's drinking. Did he discuss his wife's drinking problems with you?
Objection.
Your Honor,
Can I plead approach?
sure.
Your Honor, this is really, really, really embarrassing for the missus. She's already not putting out. If we go into this topic, she's really not going to put out. Surely you understand, Your Honor. We're going to have to stop by Costco and get some lubricant. You understand. Oh, she is. I almost feel bad making fun of her because she, I'm sure, did not ask for this. The husband was like, God damn it, that goddamn Tom, we're going to get him. And then she's just thrown under the bus.
Okay, so Doctor, my question
So they were
was
describing me,
the
yes.
reference there where it says Diane's drinking. Was that a reference to a discussion with Chuck about his wife's drinking problem?
About his wife's drinking, but it wasn't really, I mean,
As he takes a drink,
He wasn't
the
drinking
lawyer
to
just took a
excess.
drink.
but he felt that
I can drink.
he would have preferred it if she didn't drink.
Okay, and it specifically then mentions a neighborhood party on 6/22. Do you recall? Was that linked with Diane's drinking? Comes right after it.
On 6/22, which part of your?
I'm sorry, 6/14/22.
6/14. Okay.
Yes. It says,
Yes, okay, right.
oh, you know what, Doctor, after looking at the dates, I'll withdraw the question.
Okay.
I'll withdraw the question. Then under objective, again, moderate anxiety, dysthymia, decreased libido for years, sleeping well, walks to exercise and lift some weights. That was under objective.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and then the next one on 6/21/22, the last part of subjective says, discuss his needs for female intimacy. And was that an issue that Chuck had brought up to you, his need for female intimacy?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I previously discussed that.
Okay.
But I want you to discuss it again.
And I believe,
You think this defendant's just like, I'll pay you double, lawyer, if you bring up her low testosterone in court and her drinking problem? Really get into it.
and then the plan, psychotherapy for at least 45 minutes focused on Tim and letting it go. That meant letting go the whole issue of his problems with Tim Hopkins.
Right.
Okay. And you knew that at this point.
Oh, look, their body language is just like, oh. So you can get up there. Oh, his little steeple look. God damn it. There you go. His little steeple, like, it's about time, it's about time that he began to regret filing this lawsuit. This could have been a bit of an issue. Well, this isn't going to help their sex
Tim
life.
Hopkins was no longer his neighbor.
Yes.
Okay. But it was staying in Chuck's life because of the litigation, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and also memory.
Memories that were triggered by the litigation, he explained, right?
Well, actually, probably a lot by his attorney was talking with him almost daily about it, which would reactivate the anxiety.
And then in regard to alcohol, if we go to the top one on 6/28/22, Chuck told you he blew it at the neighborhood party in regard to alcohol, correct?
I don't know if that was due to alcohol, but he described getting very upset about a conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, Tracy.
And then under assessment here, it has PTSD, sarcoidosis,
welcome,
marital dysfunction, and self-esteem problems, correct?
Right.
And would this change your recollection about the party if you also see under the plan it included how to avoid alcohol?
Welcome, Raiders. We are doing a civil trial out of Ohio. Basically, two neighbors got into it over a dispute about building a garage. Very, very petty stuff. The plaintiff on the left and his wife are accusing the guy in the wheelchair with one leg of harassing him for years, giving him PTSD, threatening to unalive him, just terrifying the plaintiff. And because of that, unfortunately for them, that means all their medical records are now relevant, like their mental state. So they are currently being cross-examined on the wife and his medical issues, their alcoholism, the wife's low testosterone. Yeah, she has low T. And yeah, defendant also has his arm in a sling. His wheelchair squeaks and he refuses to grease the wheel. I mean, to be fair, the guy was a bit of a jerk, but I hardly think it rises to the level of traumatizing. Well, it was to do with the two guys, but then the plaintiff had to bring his wife into it. So
I'm not sure what you're asking.
Okay, up there it says he blew it at the party, and then under the plan, one of the plans is how to avoid alcohol. I just wondered if that refreshed your recollection as to
Well, that
what he
wasn't
meant
due-
by blew it at the party.
No, it wasn't due to the party. It was
He's
in
talking about his
general
massage
that if he's having
therapist.
anxiety and is intermittently feeling depressed, that avoiding alcohol would be a good idea for anybody,
Okay,
not specifically related to the party.
but this is the first time you included that in the plan, correct?
I don't have any idea. I mean,
I mean, we can look back and see if it's in the other ones, right? Let's go to the next page, and that's 7/12/2022.
defense wants to read like
Okay.
every single entry in here.
Down there, in there, at the bottom of subjective, it said patient got his adult daughter to help monitor his drinking.
yes,
Does that refresh your recollection as to whether
Yeah.
Chuck told you had a problem with alcohol?
we're not talking about an alcoholic here or a person who is severely abusing alcohol. We're talking about someone who probably shouldn't drink either at all or very little.
I want this guy as my sponsor.
Yes, because it exacerbates everything.
Under-
And so he was going to his daughter to help him to not drink, which is not uncommon. I mean, usually people that are feeling they need to change the behavior usually enlist the help of the people around them.
Yep, Ohio, Warren County.
Okay, then it says, patient wonders whether a countersuit would be appropriate. Advise patient, okay, but keep out of it as much as possible because it would likely increase his symptom of PTSD from his involvement with Hopkins. Do you see that?
Yes,
Okay, so, and you explained to him, the more he interacted with Grossman, the more he was involved in these legal suits, the worse it was for him.
and
Kinda
actually at some
awkward.
point I suggested he enlist his wife to talk with Grossman. So he is less reminded on a daily basis of the problems, which she did, and it was helpful.
Yeah, I think we'll get to those notes, I think.
We can go through every note, 114. I'm just wondering.
Well, yeah, because.
Oh, okay, it's okay. I just was trying to.
Oh,
Okay.
little
Um,
snippy
we'll-
there.
we'll
We'll
go-
okay.
see that.
Yeah, I think,
It on a daily basis of the problems, which she did, and it was helpful.
yeah, I think we'll get to those notes, I think.
We can go through every note, 114. I'm just wondering.
Well, yeah, because.
Oh, okay, it's okay. I just was trying to find out.
Okay. We'll go through the relevant ones. So, and then at the top, it says, under subjective we're at 8/2/22, great vacation. Why am I seeking help? I'm up in the air about what to do. 4 issues. Tim Hopkins, my wife, alcohol, and self-critic. And those are all things that Chuck told you about.
Yes,
Okay, those were the issues he was addressing.
right.
And again, for objective, moderate anxiety and dysthymia, right?
Right.
We go up on the top, 8/8/22, starts off good week, right? Yeah, that's the top of the page we were just looking at.
Yep.
Okay. And again, Mr. Goebel mentions the problems, alcohol, Tim, wife, sarcoid, critic, etc.
Low
Yes.
T.
Okay. And I believe this is the first time he mentions, if you go down at the bottom of subjective, my relationship with my father. And then there's the word DEVOGE after it.
Yeah, that's a psychologist he had seen previously. Tom DeVoge was a PhD psychologist that specialized in marital enhancement.
Okay. And so he was a marital counselor that Goebbels had seen previously?
DeVoge offers large group workshops.
And Did Chuck tell you that him and Diane had seen Divulge in parts of the
I think so. And he also was a friend of Tom's.
A friend of who?
Tom DeVoce's.
Oh, Mr. Goebel's.
Right.
Okay. And then it says plan psychotherapy for at least 45 minutes focused on how to avoid alcohol, correct?
Which one? Are we
Oh,
on?
I'm sorry. Yeah, we're still on 8/8/2022 under plan.
This is about building a garage or drinking / low T. Yes.
8/8/2022. Yes.
And then if we
Judge
go to
even
the next
asked them
page,
one time to,
8/25,
figure it
2022.
out.
It says, good weeks, Field of Dreams with his son, then Golden, Colorado. And that's what Chuck reported, that visit.
Yes.
Then he said, Grossman called a couple of times, gave him 15 minutes, and then mentions 2 nightmares of Hopkins talking to me, correct?
Right.
And do you know, did he indicate that those nightmares came up after his calls with Grossman?
Yeah, sometimes, yes.
Okay. And then if you go down at the end of subjected, it says, in regarding Diane, I'm accepting her asexuality overall. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And that's something that Chuck told you on August 25th, 2022?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to the next page. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go up. 8/31/22.
Okay.
And here he says he's setting limits on Grossman and is working. And he's accepting his wife's absent libido because mine's not great anyway. That's what he told you.
Right.
And then 9/13/2022, he tells you, I'm sober, happy, and less stressed, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and I think then he refers specifically about halfway down to Grossman. Patient made a deal, he'd give Grossman the full fee if he got no more bills from Grossman down the road. I've been giving Diane an appreciation, QD, is that quote?
Every day.
Oh, every day. Appreciation every day, not drinking, leaves Grossman. And they give Grossman the full fee. That 22, he tells you, I'm sober, happy, and less stressed, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and I think then he refers specifically about halfway down to Grossman. Patient made a deal, he'd give Grossman the full fee if he got no more bills from Grossman down the road. I've been giving Diane an appreciation, QD, is that quote?
Every day.
Oh, every day. Appreciation every day, not drinking, leaves Grossman. And again, there's another discussion that Chuck had with you about his issues.
He's
in dealing
writing
with
more
Tom
shit
Grossman.
down.
Yes.
All right, we go to the next page on
Poor wife's
9/7/22.
just there like, God damn it.
Yeah, got it.
Don't fucking talk to me.
All right, and it says, good week, went to Golden, Colorado to see children and grandchildren. Last alcohol was 8/31. That's how it starts off, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and then it refers to his wife. Diane is good, though no affection, right?
Yep.
And then if you drop down, there's a parenthetical
I don't blame her after making her go through this shit.
about Tom Grossman. It says, Tom Grossman, his attorney, sounds like he has ADD.
Yeah.
And is that something that Chuck told you that he thought?
Okay, at this point,
I can't
I
stay
guess we
zoomed
need to
in.
figure out whether or not this trial is about an attorney that they discharged or about what
His
happened
dick.
between Mr. Hopkins and the Goebels.
And I think we also need to address what caused the alleged injuries.
I get it.
to the Goebels.
Part of your argument, I believe, is that having to deal with an attorney who was representing him in the matter aggravated the situation also, correct?
More than that. It went beyond a normal attorney, as you'll see in these.
I just don't want this to turn into a trial about whether or not he made a mistake hiring Mr.
His
Grossman.
dick.
No, that's not our point.
Okay,
The point is that what really caused the aggravation was the ongoing lawsuits. And how do we see that through his discussions?
okay, go ahead.
Mr. Grossman.
You're asking me about that parenthetical statement, and the reason it's in parentheses is my thinking was that Grossman is persistently disorganized.
And he's constantly harassing Chuck about different matters, correct?
Hella says, I would love it if these people showed up in chat. That was a thought of mine when I first started streaming this trial. Like, I should be nice because maybe I could reach out and get an interview. Like, I had Anthony Cummings, when I covered his trial, he reached out to me. I don't know if I told you guys. He reached out to me after he got out of jail a few days ago. Cum Dog showed up and thanked the people who were on his side and told everyone who thought he was guilty to F off. So there's always a chance they could like come here and I'm just bagging on him and his wife. So I think that ship's probably sailed.
Well, talking about Hopkins on a daily basis, which was re-traumatizing for him.
And then just on 10/4/22, he mentions that.
Oh yeah, this is the part.
And that was due not to Mr. Hopkins, but due to his heart problems, right, in 2003.
The sarcoid interfered with it also.
And then we go to the top. It says 11/2/22, good month overall.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next page. And 11/5/22, things with Grossman have been better since patient's been setting limits on Grossman.
Right.
And then midway down, he talks about his disciplinarian dad, correct?
Yes.
And that comes up again, right? He talks about some of the problems he had
Yes.
with his father. And in fact, if you go to 11/22/2022, he says, when I was in junior high, my dad was terribly critical and hit me. I'd leave and go to the woods.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
they probably
objective,
don't have much
you're
energy.
right. Fully oriented, cognitively intact, he appears better.
Yes.
All right, let's go to the next page. Okay, and again, on 12/13/2022, the objective, moderate anxiety and dysthymia, correct?
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to state it says a lot more than that.
Absolutely, Your Honor, and I don't want to mislead anyone, and the jury will have an opportunity to look at this exhibit, and I, as a judge alludes to, we don't want to be here forever, so yeah, I'm just trying to hit the points I think are worthwhile, and if any time you need to refer to anything else to give some added understanding, please feel free to do so.
Next question, please.
Yeah, let's turn to 12/28/2022. It's on the bottom.
Yeah.
On that one, on the subjective on the top, it says Grossman is sort of OC and it sucks me in.
OG?
Obsessive compulsive.
Sucks.
Okay, and that's what Chuck told you.
No. I mean, he was talking about how Grossman goes over the same thing over and over again. It sounded to me like what you see with the obsessive compulsive people. They go over the same thing over and over.
Okay, and the term sucked in, that was what Chuck said was happening?
I believe so, yeah.
Maybe approach.
Yes.
We just go to the January 11th, 2023.
Oh, yeah, top of the page.
Okay, and certainly work on moving this along, Doctor. The end of the second line, Grossman, quote, I flat out told him we have off until 1:19. I need a break and can't deal with him every day. And then he called again.
Right.
Okay, and this was just basically Chuck telling you that.
Yeah, basically all this is his PTSD gets reactivated as part of all PTSD.
So the defense lawyer is trying to say that the reason for the PTSD, the anxiety, and all this that he's suffering is not because of the defendant, it's because of the plaintiff's lawyer constantly talking to the plaintiff about the lawsuit with the defendant. It's, it's an interesting one to argue.
Is when you're talking again about the specific situations that upset you, it continues to upset you. And so it continues to be a problem.
Okay. And then if you turn the page down the bottom, January 18th, 2023, Chuck reported to you no sarcoid active on nuclear scan today, correct?
Right.
And I believe you alluded to this earlier. He indicated that Diane was taking Grossman's texts and calls.
Right. And he also says that they're getting along well now. Diane.
Both of them are doing better. As things got better with Grossman, their
When she's
relationship got
beginning
better.
to manage Grossman.
Okay.
Because then she doesn't have the PTSD, so talking about it doesn't have the same effect on her as it does on him.
And then on 2/1/23, he about 3 down, he tells you that the lawyer's adding intentional emotional distress and defamation claims against
Right.
Mr. Hopkins, correct?
What could go wrong?
Okay, if we go to the next page on February 9th, 2023. And during that session, you discussed with him trying to get out of his lawsuits because the stress was harmful to him, correct?
Yes.
And in fact, in this one, he says he thinks that Grossman's on the autism spectrum, correct?
I think that I don't know if it was in that one. Did you say that in that one?
Yeah, 2/9/23.
Yeah, that wasn't me. He was Dr. Goebel was perusing that maybe Grossman's problem is in the autism stuff.
Okay.
I don't know. He just had a bottle of Tylenol on his desk while I was visiting. So,
And again, on 2/22/23, he just mentions that Grossman keeps asking me for copies of documents, which causes immense stress, correct?
Yeah, evidently Grossman doesn't have any or didn't have anybody helping him manage his office. And so essentially the patient was acting like an assistant to maintain records and organize things.
And if we go to the next page, March 8th, 2023, Chuck says he's going on a European river cruise, correct?
Yes.
European cruise, clothing.
Oh, yeah, and I believe that the March 15th is when he actually mentions about telling Grossman he's not his secretary.
Right.
Okay, and then one of the positives on April 5th, the one above, Chuck tells you he's no longer using alcohol as a problem solver. The first time since May 8th, 2020.
Okay.
It's the cause of.
He's doing some meditation and his wife is helping run
all of life's
interference.
problems.
Okay. And then on April 13th, 2023, he indicates there were 6 issues that brought him here, and they're all doing well.
April 13th. Yes.
And then under objective, it says more anxiety when discussing Grossman, correct?
Right. Which also means discussing Hopkins.
Well, it doesn't, it says,
I know it says discussing Grossman, but that's because discussing Grossman means discussing the case with Hopkins.
right, because Grossman's the lawyer bringing the lawsuits against Hopkins.
I don't know for sure. I mean, there were a number of lawsuits going on in different ways. This was my understanding. But Grossman was constantly reminding patient about Hopkins.
And in fact, 4/19/2023 says, I lost it with Grossman, connected it to his father's emotional abuse, right?
Right.
Okay. So there was some link between Grossman and his underlying issue
And
with his
Hopkins,
dad.
right. As I mentioned earlier, PTSD happens to some people that have some premorbid issues that get included into the event that precipitates the PTSD.
And these were the issues with his dad, were the pre-existing issues?
Right.
And again, objective, more anxiety when discussing Grossman, correct?
Right, but I would like to point out again that means discussing Hopkins.
Well,
That's
I'm
what
just asking you
Grossman
if
is discussing Hopkins.
is that what it says in your notes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
And again, 4/6/23 says more anxiety when discussing Grossman.
Right, but again, that's because Grossman is raising the issue about Hopkins. Again, it's not the discussion with Grossman. It's a discussion with Grossman. It's that Grossman is bringing up issues related to Hopkins.
Okay, got it. We can move this along. Just
he's
just ask my question. Is that what the note says? We understand
Yes.
your explanation.
he just told him to calm
Okay,
down.
and then he said he had his first meltdown. And we can
Discuss it. Right, but again, that's because Grossman is raising the issue about Hopkins. Again, it's not the discussion with Grossman. It's the discussion with Grossman. It's that Grossman is bringing up issues related to
Calm down,
Hopkins.
calm
got it.
down.
We can move this
calm
along.
down,
Just just ask my question. Is that what the note
calm
says?
down.
We understand your
Calm
explanation.
blue ocean. Calm
Okay, and
blue
then he
ocean.
said he had his first meltdown. Chuck said his first meltdown was with his dad, correct?
Yes,
And then May 17th, 2023, Chuck indicated he was back from Belgium and Sweden, correct?
I believe so. He usually did better when he was out of town.
You sure this guy doesn't have
Okay,
low
and then he
T?
says, at the bottom of subjective, Grossman wants me to sue him for intentional harm, but I don't feel safe in my home still.
Him being Hopkins.
Correct, Sue Hopkins. And again, more anxiety when discussing Grossman, correct?
Yes.
And then 6/14/23. Again, it talks about his wife's alcohol. Wife is alcoholic, a bottle a night. That's on the second line, correct?
My kind of woman.
Yes.
Okay.
He was thinking.
Yeah, you answered my question, Doc.
Okay.
And in fact, he said in response to that, he started drinking again in response to another lawsuit and the wife's drinking, correct?
It says that, right?
And trying to recognize one day at a time. Are you familiar with that phrase, one day at a time?
Yes.
That's the Alcohol Anonymous,
Right,
anonymous
of course.
phrase. And again, it says, he appears less stressed today, but is re-traumatized by Grossman under objective.
Yeah, that means discussing
Traumatized
Hopkins.
going through this cross.
In that same note, I point out that that patient is rarely drinking.
Okay.
So when it says about in the same note that the patient is drinking again, that means that when she was drinking, that he had a drink.
Right, no indication that Chuck, you never made any indication. Chuck didn't say he was an alcoholic.
Pardon me?
Chuck didn't tell you he felt he was an alcoholic.
Right, that it was a problem.
And then on 7/12/23, after talking about travels to Stockholm and Sweden and London, at the bottom of that, he says, I'm more at peace with Hopkins, correct? It's
On 7/12,
7/12, yeah, at the end of that first paragraph. I'm more at peace with Hopkins.
oh, yes, correct. But he still has periodic waves of fear.
and I pray and meditate
Right.
every day.
He's getting better control over his symptoms.
And then on 7/19, he said he's doing much better, but frustrated with his wife's lack of libido under assessment.
Right.
And then 7/26/23 tells you he's doing well and went away for what he called a redneck.
I think this is the first time she's finding out that he was bitching about her in her therapy sessions. But damn wife isn't putting out.
Weekend.
On where?
7/26 at the top of the page.
Okay.
Defendant's getting the last laugh here, no matter what.
Yeah, he went. Okay. Yes. Had a great time.
And he indicated he was, an objective says, appears less stressed today.
Right.
If we turn the page, 8/8/23, again, under assessment, doing much better, less frustrated, correct?
Yes.
.30 2023 under assessment, doing much better, less frustrated overall.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Aw.
And I apologize, doctor. I know this is a bit tedious. If we turn the page on
You apologize to
September
the
6,
jury.
2023.
Okay.
Again, just to note, he appears less stressed today, gets re-traumatized with time. The multiple lawsuits are discussed.
Yep.
Okay.
He was in pain from sciatica also.
Sciatica.
Yeah, he was having some leg pain.
Is that referenced in your notes?
Yeah, it says complaint of new sciatica left left
Okay.
leg. Stretching gets better. And the daughter suggested some acupuncture to help it.
Uh-oh.
I just said, on 9/11/23, it says Grossman said the reason Lyons won't talk to me is MJ. And I was just curious, what does MJ stand for?
MJ usually means marijuana.
The devil's lettuce.
Okay, and then if we go to the next page, 9/20/23, and again, I just want to look at the under objective, the mood has changed here, huh? To euthymic to positive, anxiety lower, sleeping okay.
He's doing a lot better.
Okay, and the same for 10/12/2023. Mood euthymic to positive, anxiety lower, sleeping okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And he tells you that he feels like he has the Grossman situation under control now. I've mentioned to him he needs to be traumatized too, and he responds, "I hate Hopkins. He got my wife unelected."
Right.
That's what Chuck told you. Grossman told him.
Yes.
Okay. And if we just turn the page. Again, we're still on mood euthymic to positive, anxiety lower.
Yes.
Okay, and I believe that's the same for 10/31/23 as well.
Yeah, but I point out that it also gets upset whenever he starts recalling what he's been through.
Okay. 11/8/2023. Again, mood euthymic to positive, anxiety lower, sleeping okay.
Mhm.
And then on 11/15/23 explains to you that he has two lawsuits against Hopkins now. One for the breach of the earlier settlement and the second for intentional infliction of harm. Is that right?
Right.
Did you ever discuss the issue of him abandoning his lawsuits in order to help his level of stress and anxiety? Did you recommend he do that?
I didn't recommend that he abandon it. I did point out that nobody wins in a lawsuit. You know, that you earn everything that you get. That it's very difficult to pursue a lawsuit for everybody.
And it was clear to you that from pursuing these lawsuits and having to deal with Grossman, that it was having an effect on
Well, he also told me that he believed that Grossman had violated earlier legal agreements, and therefore that he couldn't stop pursuing it, because even if he agreed to not pursue it, Grossman would still come back at him. Or Hopkins, I mean. No, I'm confusing Hopkins and.
You said Grossman would come back at him?
That Hopkins would come back, that Hopkins had violated previous agreements. Okay, Hopkins had said that he wouldn't continue to do something. Can't tell you exactly what the agreement was, but that then he did anyway. And so that if he gave up the current lawsuit, that Hopkins would still continue to come after him. That wouldn't resolve anything.
Well, then did you discuss with him how Hopkins could come back at him when he moved away a year and a half before?
Yes. Connor.
Well, again, he's got a PTSD from Hopkins having threatened to kill him. Okay, and that that Hopkins hadn't lived up to prior agreements that they had between them and with the attorneys involved, and even with the court involved, and that he couldn't agree to suspend this because he felt that Hopkins would continue to come after.
The Buhner attack happened right after the threat in October of 2020,
Right.
the death threat.
That's when it started.
Have you had a chance to review Dr. Buhner's report, the forensic psychologist that did an examination of Mr. Goebel?
No.
And in the interest of speed, Doctor, if we start on a 11/8/23 page, if you could look at those three entries and see if they also include the same notation we were discussing, mood, euthymic to positive and anxiety lower and sleeping okay.
Yeah, overall, right.
Okay, those are there for us.
But also that he gets upset when he starts recalling all the things that occurred with Hopkins.
And if we look at the next page, the 12/13, 12/20, 12/28, those three visits also include mood, euthymic to positive, anxiety lower.
Right.
And in fact, on 12/28, he says that he's saw Grossman socially 3 times, and he's got Grossman trained, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then if we just turn the page, 1/16/2024 to 1/24/24, those 2 visits, again, mood, euthymic to positive, anxiety lower, correct?
Yes.
And then if we go to the next page, 1/31/2024 to 7/2024.
Yep.
Again, mood, euthymic to positive, anxiety lower for both of those meetings, correct?
Right, during the meeting. And again, as long as I'm trying to help him to encapsulate the issues with Hopkins and keep it out of his everyday life, and then he's okay.
And in the January 31st, 2024, he mentions travel to Florida, Africa, the Galapagos Islands, Spain, France, and Italy, correct?
Always feels better when he's out of town.
Okay. And if we turn the page, February 14th, 2024, March 4th, 2024, again, both of those, the mood, euthymic to positive, anxiety lower.
Yes.
On the next page, 327, 2024, and 411, 2024, in addition to the euthymic to positive and anxiety lower, I wanted to ask you, it says on 411, 2024, I've made plans of what to do if Grossman comes after me. It's to video it on my phone.
What a novel idea.
I had suggested that to him.
Okay.
It's Hopkins, not Grossman. I mean, when any contact with Grossman is about Hopkins, and that reactivates his anxiety. And so not to be saying Hopkins all the time when I'm meeting with him, because it's going to increase his anxiety, I would use Grossman and substitute, because any contact with Grossman is about Hopkins.
Okay, but according to your notes, Chuck told you that if Grossman came after him, he'd video him on his phone.
Yeah, but that's Hopkins we're talking about.
It says Grossman, does it not?
That's what I just said. Anywhere I talk about Grossman, I'm talking about reminding the patient again about Hopkins. And so if Hopkins comes after him, videotape it with his phone. So you have evidence that it happened.
So when you refer to legal calls and phone calls and put in Grossman, are you referring to Hopkins?
They're all about Hopkins. I mean, Grossman isn't calling him to talk about anything other than Hopkins. I don't know how to say it any clearer.
I'm a little confused as to the Grossman Hopkins being interchangeable.
Okay,
Is
when
that
it
how
rains, it's wet. Okay, so if it's raining, it's wet. All right. So if we're talking about Grossman, we're talking about Grossman bringing up Hopkins. Those two are stuck together.
And do you recall Chuck complaining about any other lawyers aside from Grossman?
None that come to mind. Well, I mean, when he would talk with the other attorneys, then yes, but they weren't calling him on a daily basis.
Hi, Helen.
Right.
In fact, I've often told
Hi.
you, if you get an attorney, get one that's busy. Why? Because they'll only call you if they have to. They're not going to call you every day.
Yes.
Okay, show me the bag of dicks.
Really?
Yes. Okay, so I'm very disappointed. Why have you never opened them and eaten the dicks?
How do you know I didn't get two and ate the other one?
Did David send you to?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You'd remember eating dick.
I ate one of the bags.
Oh,
No, I had a couple. They were okay. They weren't really. I'm not a candy guy.
wait. So that is open. The bag is open.
No. He sent me two bags. This
So
one's
you ate a whole
unopened.
bag of dicks.
No, I threw out most of the bag because it was stale at that point.
There were stale dicks.
Yes, they were very stale dicks.
Right. Okay. So, how much do we need to super chat you in order for you to open that bag and eat a few dicks for us?
I don't feel like eating dicks right now.
Really.
I'm not in a
Well-
dick eating mood at the moment.
You're not in a dick eating mood. Okay. Well, I think
I've still got your gift, David, not your dick, David.
I think we need a goal. Everyone's got a price.
Yes. I think there's,
Yes.
yeah, these are like stale dicks.
Stale dicks. Well,
they're best
eating
by
stale dicks,
March 8th of 2025. I guess they're probably
that's-
still good.
that's not too
No, it's only a few months old.
bad.
They are
Right.
small dicks. They're a choking
Hey,
hazard.
cats. Hello, cats. All right, cool, sweet. All right, so I think we need a goal,
Yeah.
and let's do it. You're gonna be eating dicks.
And Hopkins
It's
seemed
a
to
half
have,
hour goal because I gotta go.
Grossman seemed to have time to call him every day, which was raising the whole issue of Hopkins again.
Right. Grossman kept bringing it up.
Yeah.
Now
Cats
he
do
was
want
learning
them.
how to get away from it some with meditation and doing other
They're
things.
hard.
And he
Maybe
was
go hard.
beginning to have some time when he would relax and feel safe. But as soon as we talked about Hopkins again, the original trauma would resurface.
Oh, you guys aren't getting any.
And on 3/27/24, Mr. Hopkins, or now you got me confused. Mr. Goebel indicated to you that he'd never been suicidal or homicidal, correct?
I think so.
They're salted
To my knowledge, he
dicks.
hadn't been. Let's see here. Hopkins
Pickle
drank-
dicks.
Oh yeah, I remember what that was about. It was an outline that was on my my diagnostic form, and the suicide, homicide. If there's nothing there, it means that they weren't. But I didn't always enter that they were not suicidal or homicidal. I
Right.
didn't say it on the document.
I don't like the pink ones.
No, and I don't have any brown ones.
Okay. Why don't we skip ahead to 5/8/2024?
You gotta swallow.
Okay, good.
We're getting there.
No spitting them out
All right.
to waste.
Okay. And again, the mood remains euthymic to positive, correct?
For the most part, right.
And in regard to his mood, he said, I've been on a roll, correct? That's at the start on the subjective.
You feeling okay, buddy? I want to get that checked out.
And he says, last 2 weeks, no panic attacks, spending less time thinking about Hopkins. You said it's on a roll.
Yeah, the first words under subjective, I've been on a roll, 5/14/2024.
5/14. Okay, I thought you were in 5/8. Yes, it says that. We've been on a roll meditating.
Okay.
And it's helped his sarcoid is not flaring up as much.
Sorry, it was driving me nuts. You being in not quite in the middle, but not like sorry.
And,
I can't have it.
Doctor, just to speed it up again on the next one, 5/22, 5/28, just to establish again, euthymic and positive, anxiety lower on both of those meetings.
Yep.
And then on June 24th, he indicates the new attorney said Hopkins is interested in dropping a number of cases. Mercury is going for damages. My attorney discussed issues around cases with Grossman and Lyons, but I'm not considering dropping the case.
Right. That's what I was talking about a few minutes ago.
Okay. And as you advise me how much time I want to spend on these cases, the only way to handle a bully is punch him in the nose. And there he's referring to dealing with Mr. Hopkins, correct?
Right.
Or maybe his lawyer.
You could kick him, but he's only got one leg.
Well, yeah. It's not going to be good in an ass kicking contest.
That's true. You could roll over them.
And then if you could just check 7-1, mood remains euthymic to positive, anxiety lower.
Yes.
And then just if we skip ahead, everyone will be happy to hear to 8/19/2024.
Yep.
Mr. Goebel talks about his issues with the Cincinnati Enquirer article, and then he says, but in regard to
Oh,
Hopkins, I
thank
know
you,
he can't really
Shibbles.
hurt me or
Wow.
my family, correct?
That was very
Yeah,
generous
and
of you.
the
Thank
important word
you.
is really, that he realizes that
No.
some of his fear is that it's not likely to happen. But he still has the fear response intermittently.
And on 9/3/2024, he said Hopkins likely sensed that he could bully me like my dad, correct?
Yeah.
And he kind of equated some of this stuff with the issues he'd had with his abusive father.
Not equating it, but it felt in some way similar. And as I said earlier, that people can get PTSD usually when they've had some pre-existing stress that opens them up to it.
And then
I also pointed out to him
Pre-existing stress,
that it probably helped him become a
post-traumatic
dentist.
stress.
Okay,
Go.
and that it probably motivated him also.
the way his dad treated him.
Yeah.
If we skip
Nothing's
ahead
all
to
bad. I mean, it's
9/16/2024, mostly euthymic, anxiety low, correct?
9/16.
2024. And in fact, and that was after he talked about a trip to the Galapagos Islands,
Right.
correct?
That's right.
Went to the Galapagos Islands. Sweet.
And then on 10/7/2024, he said, he talks about an interaction with his cousin. He says, I got angry when he brought up Hopkins. And then he said, it's not Hopkins, it's your reaction to Hopkins. Was that him relaying what his cousin had said to him?
Yes. Well, what he said to me that his cousin said to him. Right.
On 10/17/2024, under objective, mostly euthymic, anxiety low, never suicidal or homicidal. Patient reports he has been less anxious regarding calls from Grossman and others regarding the cases. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. And when you say Grossman here, you mean he's less anxious about Hopkins as
Right.
well?
Well, even there say regarding the cases. It explicitly.
And then on 10/21/24, he says, my 6 issues that were traumatizing me are better mostly.
Yes. I mean, I have to find it, but that certainly was said.
Okay. And again, mostly euthymic to positive. I'm sorry, this one does not say that. It says mood mostly euthymic, anxiety low,
Yeah.
but still present. Okay, doctor, we're almost there.
Like the plaintiff with his wife.
Well, like, they get kind of almost there, but
Well, that's
nowhere
true.
near it.
And again, in objective on 11/18/2024, you mentioned him being less anxious regarding calls from Grossman.
Yes.
And 12/2/2024, on the next page, mood mostly euthymic, anxiety better.
Yes.
Really?
And the same holds true for the next page, 12/16/23/2024, mostly euthymic, anxiety better.
Right. Both of them also say, except when something reactivates the PTSD, like the legal activities.
And when you're
Well,
evaluating its
like-
mood, it's what the mood is as you're
That
seeing it.
moment. Yeah.
And then on
Right, are you
1/13/25 talks about a trip to Florida and says he's completely lost his desire for alcohol, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Aw.
Okay. And mostly
guy.
euthymic, anxiety better for both those December dates.
Manny, stop flirting with me. Stop it. Stop it. Know what you're doing.
And then on 1/22/25, he says, I had a sarcoid flare Thursday 1/16 after Grossman was upset about being replaced by McMurtry, and I was down for the count for the weekend. And this was stress actually caused by the lawyers, right? Not by Mr. Hopkins.
Well, by the lawyers talking about Mr. Hopkins, and he's switching attorneys to try to decrease the contact and decrease how often he's being asked to talk about it.
So,
From where I was, it looked like that his new attorney, I guess McMurtry, was busier. I didn't have time to call him every evening or every day and talk with him about Hopkins. And so that helped.
that helped.
Yeah.
Um, and
Stupid
again here,
doctor had to write that down.
for both these January dates, mood mostly euthymic, anxiety much better, correct?
Yeah.
On February 3rd, 2025, and I think this is the last one, it says, Goebel said that Hopkins published a front page article in the Cincinnati Enquirer. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And, did you ever discuss with Chuck that it wasn't Mr. Hopkins that published the article? It was the Cincinnati Enquirer and the author of the article?
Yeah, it was a reporter that was the author of the article.
Right.
Yeah.
And you said you never looked at that article,
No.
did you? Did you know that a large portion of that article presented Chuck Goebel's side of the story?
I didn't read the story.
Okay. So Chuck never discussed that part with you?
No.
And as to these last two, mostly euthymic, anxiety much better.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're through with those. I appreciate your patience. You said in regard to the panic attacks, someone's heart rate could go over 100 and they could go to an emergency room. at
Right,
times?
they often do.
And did that ever happen with Chuck Goebel?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And did you ever check his pulse rate?
No.
Okay. And so
Pretty
your
calm.
understanding of whether panic attacks and nightmares happen was based on what Chuck told you?
Right. And he slept better with the Prazosin also.
And in fact, I believe you said that probably half the people on the jury have had a panic attack at some time, correct?
They're fairly common.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you, Doctor. I believe you're not quite done.
Just a moment. I'm sorry. How many questions do you anticipate?
Be done by 12:30.
Oh, of course.
12 what?
What time is it? It's now 12:15, 12:30, probably sooner.
Then we've got recross after that.
But let me do it in 7 minutes. Then.
Okay. I'm not trying to limit your,
No, I understand. I'm just trying to get the jury watching.
Plaintiff's wife would kill for that.
So,
Right. Well, I am retired, so.
I will be before this trial's over.
So this isn't good retirement.
Okay, this is driving everyone to retirement. Yeah. Sorry. So it's 12:15 and off we go. Dr. Thomas, did Mr. Grossman cause Dr. Goebel's PTSD?
No.
Is it true, or what benefits, if any, did you observe accrued to Dr. Goebel as a result of travel?
When he was out of town, he felt much safer and his symptoms would reside.
Turn to your note on March 27th of 2024.
March 27, 24. I'm getting there. There's June. It'll be right before that. May. We're looking March 27th.
2024. I can read this note to
It's
you.
at the top of the page, so.
It's the second note down from the
Flip
top.
off.
3/27/2024.
Oh, that's April. 2024, okay. Okay, I got March
Take your time,
27,
sir.
2024.
Well, I'm just trying to get the third line down. You start and you read, I have never thought. Could you read from there?
Sure. I've
Down to
never
the end of that
thought or
paragraph.
considered patient to be suicidal and homicidal. but that's what I was explaining earlier, that my outline of my mental status, as SUI and SUI, I mean suicidal, HOM, I mean homicidal, reminds me to ask about, are they suicidal or homicidal? And it turns out, unfortunately, I leave those in there. If they're negative, I don't necessarily note it. Okay, but if they're positive, I definitely note it.
Got it.
Okay, so nothing after it or with it means they're not.
You talking there about further, I've never decided. Can you read that? Never decided or diagnosed.
I never thought or considered a patient to be suicidal or homicidal, but these are outlined as things to be sure I've evaluated during the mental status exam. As a result of this, I've changed my outline to say never suicidal, never homicidal, so my outline cannot be used again to create lies about my patients. Further, I've never decided or diagnosed either the patient or his wife as being alcoholic. Rather, I noted their drinking increased as a result of the stress, and for patient, the PTSD the Hopkins caused them. I recommend that, as any competent therapist would do, that alcohol should not be used to manage feelings. And among other things, it adversely affects libido. Currently, as a result, an issue and intimacy has been better.
And then can you continue to read to the end of the paragraph?
Sure. The only time I mentioned asexuality in the record was after patient reported Hopkins distortions that he had published in Cincinnati Enquirer. Patient reports his allergies have been better since he started on Singular.
Okay, that's a note that you made in the record, doctor?
Yes.
If you could go to the note dated 9/11/2023, it's at the top of the page. Well, let me just ask you this. Do you remember the question about MJ and what MJ was?
Yeah.
You said marijuana.
Yeah.
I'm going to read that sentence to you.
Mary
Where
Jane.
in 9/11/23?
9/11/2023.
Got it. Okay.
It says Grossman said the reasons Lyons won't talk to me is MJ. And you said you recall that as being marijuana. Do you know what MSJ stands for?
No,
Have you ever heard of a motion for summary judgment in a legal matter?
oh, okay.
Do you know if he was, when you're reading that sentence?
That maybe, yeah, I was just thinking that it doesn't make much sense. It was MJ. It's probably MSJ.
Did Dr. Goebel ever tell you that any of his attorneys were involved with marijuana?
No.
Wouldn't you be?
Dealing with this putz.
Sir, thank you very much. Appreciate your time today, Doctor.
Bye.
So Doctor,
just
when
find Candy
you
Crush.
reported that your client said that his wife was alcoholic and drank a bottle a night, did you believe that was an accurate reporting?
No, I think he reported that she did that sometimes.
Okay. You just felt that was an evidence of an alcoholic?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Nothing further.
All right, thank
Bottle
you.
a night is not an alcoholic.
Okay, we'll take a lunch break. If you could please be
Exactly.
back by 1:30.
I like this guy.
Do I need to be back?
Oh, no, sir, but you're welcome to stay and watch.
I want this guy as my sponsor.
There needs to be some redactions. Which I can provide.
All right, we're going to skip ahead to the massage therapist. Right.
They all just have a giggle about him being allowed to stay and watch.
Yeah, he likes to watch.
Who was giggling?
Oh, everybody.
But they all hate each other.
Well, you
Like,
got to
they
find some
hate
lulls.
each other. Hate.
Yeah, but they can laugh at the same thing. Okay, where
They've just been
is-
talking about how all the sexual dysfunction and alcoholism and stuff for like the last hour. You'd think they'd be very mad.
Well, okay, maybe the lawyers are having fun.
Maybe
I
it was
mean,
lawyers.
David in this situation would be having a ball.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he'd be.
Hang
having
on, wait
a-
a minute. Is that a
oh.
woman?
No, I was an officer. We're skipping him. It was a little boring.
I just wasn't sure if it was a woman or a man. So
No, I want to
gender
get
them.
to. Come on, where the hell is he?
His wife, she just starfishes and then they douse her in lube.
Oh, maybe it was before him. Sorry, guys. God damn it.
Maddie's on fire today.
I need to refresh this. Sorry.
And apparently he's not even drinking. Apparently he's more fun when he's drinking.
Hmm.
She could quit whenever she wants. Whenever she wants.
Wow, I'm sorry, guys. I cannot find the
Don't
little...
worry. It's fine. I can entertain people. See, I can actually talk to people whilst you're doing stuff.
That's
You
true.
know, notice this, right? Like, because usually if I'm playing around with the videos and stuff, you're like, so, chat.
Cat food.
Yeah, isn't this awkward?
This is a little
Yeah.
awkward.
This is a little awkward, isn't it?
Oh, look at...
Well-
oh, speaking of awkward, look at him shaking her hand and... Ah.
Who is that? Oh, right, that's the witness. Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to ask her out.
Yeah.
And now
Chat,
the
I
judge went
apologize.
to...
What are you apologizing for, Maddie?
Judge went to take a piss. Prostate's acting up.
Yeah.
Where did that little poofter go? Scott said where the... was he oh, there's the poofter.
The what?
Ah. Look at that guy.
Was he gay?
Well, he's a massage therapist for the defendant. Or
I
for the
see.
plaintiff, sorry.
For the
So,
plaintiff?
I mean, we
Look
did
at
not
the
get into
ball.
his sexuality, but I'm just saying.
He looks a bit odd.
He looks like me, kind of, with a better
Does look a
beard.
bit like you.
I have that same shirt, too. It's a little creepy.
Are you gonna beat a dick soon?
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give in this case to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. You may be seated.
Tomorrow.
For fuck's sake, say whatever you want. Fine.
Good afternoon, evening. Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Jordan Morris,
Where do you live, Mr. Morris?
112 North Curry, Wilmington, Ohio.
You got crazy eyes.
112 North Curry, Wilmington, Ohio.
Do you know Mr. and Mrs. Goebel?
I do.
How do you know them?
I've been
I get the pleasure of putting my hands all over the plaintiff's supple body.
Look, okay, I don't like judging people by their facial expressions and stuff, but he looks like a fucking madman.
If you were a guy who needed a massage therapist, of all the massage therapists in the world, even because your wife probably knows you have intimacy issues and doesn't want you to go see a hot woman massage therapist. So you got to stick with a guy. Fine. Is this the guy you want rubbing you down?
Look, he's probably better than some,
Yeah.
oily French sort of. Whoa.
Yeah.
Let me
I mean,
get my
yeah, apparently he
hands
does a
on
good
ya.
job because he went from once a month to once a week. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
He looks like he would. Okay, so I just finished watching the Ed Gein thing. He looks like he would skin suit you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he trying to tell him to go after the defendant, but he wouldn't. Apparently, the defendant doesn't have enough skin.
No, he hasn't got good skin for it.
No.
therapist for about 10 years now.
When you say therapist, what kind of
Massage therapist.
I'm going to do my best not to speak over you. We could try to keep it back and forth going.
Please don't get
because
so
the
excited,
court is
sir.
writing down everything we do.
Yes, sir.
How long have you, and so you may have just said, how long have you known the Goebels?
About 10 years.
All right. Have you been a massage therapist for Dr. Goebel that whole time?
Yes.
All right. Is there anything else that you do for the Goebels?
I do some like housework for him, just whenever he needs it, just to help out around. And we stretch and just work out and stuff like that
Do a
together.
bit of plumbing
Alright.
for them.
How often do you see the
Change the
Goebels?
pipes.
It was about twice a month for a while, and then it got down to about once a week.
How often are you seeing them now?
Now, about once a week.
Did you know the Goebels in 2020?
Yes, I did.
Let me ask you, do you know the defendant, Tim Hopkins?
I do.
How do you know him?
Just through Chuck and the interaction we had the first time we met.
All right. When was that? When was the first time?
The
that you met?
video in May of 2020.
All right. The jury's already seen a video at the in the interest of time, I'm not going to play it again. Have you seen a video from May of 2020 in preparing?
What do you think this guy's resume was like that Tom was like, yes, this is the guy I want? It's so creepy. I wonder if Sean could, he could hook Sean up.
He's a very strange person.
He is, but maybe Sean needs a masseuse.
Maybe.
And, get him his number.
Preparing for today.
Yes, sir.
How are you involved in that video?
I took the video.
All right. Let's talk about how we got to that video for just a moment. All right. So in the beginning of 2020, how often were you going over to the Goebel's house?
We had stopped doing it for a little while just because of COVID,
Whoa.
so we kept distance. But before that, it was like twice a month.
It was hard for me to keep my hands
Before
off him.
COVID. Yes. All right. When did you start your meetings back up?
Probably near the end of 2020, beginning of 2021.
All right. So what brought you over to the Goebel's house in May of 2020?
He needed some yard work done, and then he asked me if I'd go over to the neighbors and just kind of video the interaction. Just
When he said he needed a trim, sir.
Did he tell you why he wanted it documented?
Just for reasons, just to kind of have evidence of what happened.
Yeah. So he wanted to go over to his neighbor's house to confront him about building the garage. So the first thing the plaintiff does is call the police to watch and brings this guy as backup.
Okay. Reasons.
This guy is,
This is court. You don't say reasons.
yeah, reasons. Why'd he do it? Reasons.
And just a background of what it was going to be.
All right. How did you take that video?
With a cell phone.
All right. Had you had any personal interactions with Tim Hopkins prior to that video?
No.
Did you have any personal interactions with Tim Hopkins after that video?
Not personal, no.
All right. Talk me through then your relationship with the Goebels, who's the only parties that you had a relationship with, correct?
Yes.
The relationship.
Did that May 8th interaction with Mr. Hopkins have any visible effect on the Goebels?
Slightly after the video was taken, he seemed a little stressed, but not too bad. Not as bad. So we bumped it to twice a month more regularly rather than 1 to 2 times a month. So it was a little
Needed
stressful.
my hands on him more often.
All right. I'm going to break that answer down into smaller pieces.
Okay.
Less creepy pieces, sir.
When you say it was more stressful, what did you see or experience that indicated to you that it was more stressful?
Just a little more tension in his body, some stress, just not wanting to get out of the house a whole lot, but we did continue our walks every now and then just to kind of loosen up for the massage. But other than that, it was.
So can you
the
tell me how
same, just a
supple his
little more
body was
tense.
after?
So that's why we bumped it to 2 times a month.
When you say a little bit more tense, is that in
No.
in your capacity as a massage therapist? Is that in?
Yeah, as a medical massage therapist, that's my opinion. That it got more tense just after that, just because it seemed like a stressful situation. So we just wanted to keep him where we had him.
All right.
Let me interrupt you for just a moment.
Keep you where we had him.
This happens just about every witness.
Yes.
People are a little more on edge or nervous when they come in. Just try to wait till he finishes his question.
Then answer.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. We want to get all these details, sir.
Have you known the Goebels continuously throughout the last 10 years?
Yes.
That is, were there any large gaps in when you weren't speaking to them?
Not really, no.
All right. Are you aware of a series of Facebook posts made in 2022?
Yeah, I became aware. I worked in Mason for a while, so I followed some of the Mason pages, and I saw the purple Lambo page that was posted about the Goebels and Tim Bressman.
Did you ever click through to that page?
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff in there, and I don't think a lot of it was true, if any of it. So there was a lot of lies, I think, told. But yeah.
All right. Are you a subscriber to the Cincinnati Enquirer?
No.
All right. Are you familiar with the Cincinnati Enquirer article that was published?
I've seen it, but I didn't read into that one. It was more the purple Lambo that seemed to bother him.
We say that seemed to bother him. What do you mean?
I think the purple Lambo was published through 2022. So after that, he got a lot more tense and his mental health seemed to decline. So we bumped it down to once a week. We started doing massages because it just took a toll on him.
When you say he, you mean
Chuck, not Mr. Goebel.
All right.
Why are there no objections?
Because the defense is probably laughing at the thought of this guy.
Let me just have one moment here.
Yes.
Witness. And
No,
the
I mean,
jury's
just-
probably.
Just
jury
generally,
has
like
to be
these lawyers
freaked
don't
out.
object.
I've heard a few, but most
These
were.
civil lawyers, civil lawyers generally object
Nothing
all
further
over
for
the
this witness,
place.
Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Cross
You don't want it to look like you're afraid of the answer.
Good afternoon, Mr. Moore.
How are you today?
Good, thanks. I take it after you looked at that purplelambo.com website, you didn't think any less of Chuck and Diane, did you?
Very
I did
few
not know,
objections.
just because I knew a lot of that wasn't true.
I knew every inch of his body.
And what exactly is your training as a therapist?
I went to medical massage school, so I'm licensed by the State Medical Board of Ohio.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
How long have you been doing it?
Whoop de
About
doo.
11 years now.
And for most of your customers, do you come to their home?
No, just a few, just referrals and stuff that I picked up through the years.
You know, I don't think they're called customers, sir. I believe they're called Johns, but okay.
And that was always how you did it with Chuck. He didn't come to you. You went to him.
We started at Massage Envy, and then when I left there, he asked me to start coming to his home.
And what year was that about?
A place that has a reputation for sexual assault, by the way, at least in Arizona.
Really? Oh, it's different. Is that a different place or not?
It's a chain of massage places
Really?
all over the country. But yeah, there's some like scandals in Arizona about it.
Oh, so it's a franchise kind of.
Yeah.
Right. That's shit. Like imagine like you had a franchise and it was completely clean, but the name had been associated with other franchises and there had been sexual assaults. That's shit. So we're not saying
that would have been
he.
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, but we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look at that face. He wouldn't harm a fly.
No, he's lovely.
Yeah. And I think he's into the I'm just speculating, but him and the plaintiff seem to have a close relationship.
Very.
Yeah. Biblically close.
2017, 2018, I think.
Okay. And I believe it was your testimony that it seemed to you that what really bothered him most was the website and not necessarily the article from the newspaper.
Yeah, it seemed like the website that got posted on Facebook for everybody to see and all of his friends in the Mason area, it really affected me.
And did you consider yourself a friend of the Goebels?
Yeah, nowadays I would, yes.
But the website didn't affect your view of them.
No, sir.
And you, I believe you answered the question. You said you thought you saw Mr. Goebel's mental health decline.
Yeah,
Okay.
and his physical health. Mostly his physical, just he was always on edge, very tense. The knots were a little harder to get rid of, and they came back a little faster. So that's why we bumped it to more often once a week.
You don't have any mental health training, right?
No, sir. We just, as massage therapists, we go through schooling, and you kind of just learn body language and everything. And so just
body language.
Massage
Right.
therapist, I can't put it on his mental health exactly, but
No, you can't.
you just read body language pretty well.
Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah. You
You
should have a
have no
YouTube channel.
training in psychology or psychiatry or something. Nothing further.
All right, thank you. Redirect.
No redirect, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir.
I'm gonna go take a shower.
Maybe we approach this very briefly.
Sure.
Okay.
Lame.
Well, I feel dirty now.
See, I mean, the thing is, yeah, he was testifying about the plaintiff's mental state, and I expected that there would be objections about that, and so the defendant's lawyer said, "Oh, well, you know, you don't know anything about that," and he said, "Yeah, well, I mean, I have some training as a massage therapist."
The plaintiffs made his mental state. They're suing because of harassment and emotional harm, like his
Yeah, I get that.
PTSD and stuff like that. So his emotional state is a key factor in this case. So they're allowed to ask witnesses about it, I believe.
Yes, I know, but don't you need to be a expert to talk, like opine about his mental state?
I don't
Wait.
believe so, because it's a civil trial and that's like a factor they brought up. I don't think
Especially
David's
if you are a like considered to be someone who's hired to, like, as a healthcare person. Like, I mean, I know it's an ancillary healthcare person, but like, he's talking about how tense he was, and in response to stuff that was happening in his life at that time. And then he goes on and talks about his mental health. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. How can you know about his mental health? That like other civil trials I've seen, there would be an objection, like speculation. How do you know about that? You know, whereas the defense just let him go and then waited until the end of questioning to go, well, how do you know about that? Oh, I just learned about body language and stuff, you know, and it took a while to get to that point. Yeah. Never object, Mavka?
Yeah, and they kind of just had stuff to work with then to impeach him and make the plaintiff look bad.
I mean, there's two schools of thought on that. You can never object and let stuff just come out, and then impeach it, or you can object and just not have it come out.
It depends on the jury and the people in that area, you know. Like during the Rittenhouse trial, there was a reason Mark Richards never objected, even though it pissed off a lot of people, like the lawyers watching the case, like Ricada.
It's so cringe. I'd want it all out there. Yeah.
That too. I mean, this, like, if I was on the jury, I'd be so creeped out. I'm kind of like, the defendant was an asshole and he went way too far, but I can see how the plaintiff would have antagonized him and been really obnoxious to the point that it would have caused the defendant to, not rightly so, but it feels like the defendant or the plaintiff is very petty. And I've seen in his body language a few times watching him, he's shaking his head, he's gotten annoyed, he's written stuff down quickly. He's looked at his lawyer. His lawyers had to tell him to settle down a couple times, motioned at him. And the wheelchair guy has just looked, and I know that I'm sure it's calculated to look meek and sad and pathetic, because you want the jury to see you as harmless. Like, I'm just a broken old guy. But I mean, the defendant to me is coming off better than the plaintiff.
You think?
Yeah.
I think the whole purplelambo.com thing is so cringe and so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the defendant looks like a complete wanker who has brought this on himself. and
That's fair.
like, yeah, he can't. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he deserves to get sued.
Yeah. I don't know. There's, 3 more days. We haven't seen the guy testify yet. We haven't seen him testify. That's just
Mm.
thoughts. Is I'm a little. It feels like the plaintiff could have handled this so much better, and
Like, probably could have, but this dickhead in the wheelchair is an asshole. Like, he's a complete freaking asshole, and I believe that he did all this shit with the playing the loud music and the blasting the lights and all that kind of crap, just to
I believe he did
drive
some
them
of it.
nuts. Yeah,
I think they're exaggerating some of it. Usually, it's what
Maybe.
happens in these kinds of disputes. But
maybe.
so how much I don't know. But yeah, I'm sure he was a prick to them. I've no
Yeah.
doubt about that.
So what? It's America. Is that what America is supposed to be like, Mav?
Hell yeah.
Are you supposed to have no consideration for your neighbors at all? Like,
Yeah, it's
are you supposed to?
America.
Yeah, are you supposed to actually like antagonize them on purpose because you can?
Have you seen what Trump's doing with Canada? I'm just saying that's a bad example, Ella.
Yes and yes. Nice country, Mav, like you say to me. Anyway, are you going to keep going or?
No, I'm gonna end here.
Okay.
That was about all the good parts for today. The
Eat a bag of
other one,
dicks.
I'll have one dick.
Hey!
Oh no, now my cats want a dick. That's the problem.
No. That's kitty torture. You need to eat the dick yourself.
No, I'm not giving you a dick,
Eat a
Babu.
dick. Eat a dick. Eat
I'll have a pink
dick.
one.
Eat a dick. Eat
Probably
a dick.
expired. If I choke, call 911. I don't want to die like this. It's hard.
No. We didn't see it. Dick in your mouth right now.
See?
Swallow it. Oh. What does it taste like?
Nothing really, just hard candy.
Swallow it.
Oh, sorry, Wow.
Stop, my kids are in here. Oh, sorry. Well, it happens to me all the time. The other day I turned on Sean's stream. I had my child with me and he was like, fucking retards, fucking bullshit crap. It's like, oh shit. My daughter was like, he needs mental help.
Well,
I know. How was the dick? Do you enjoy it?
I'm not big on the hard candy.
You
Thank
put
you,
it
chat.
in your mouth. You let it go down your throat.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Swallow it.
So we'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern to start day 3. Yes, Babu. I know. They're being mean to Daddy, aren't they? It's not nice, is it? Huh?
Yeah, Pornhub got banned in Arizona, didn't it?
What?
Pornhub.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have to use a license if I want to go onto the website now. Or a VPN.
Apparently their stats have gone down like 80% or something.
Safa.
It worked. And in the UK, so apparently in the UK, you need like a license or something.
Yeah.
Like, you actually have to
driver's
show them
license.
that
Like,
you're
you have
really
to-
18.
Yeah, verify. Like, yeah, I'm going to give the government my license to watch porn.
See, this is interesting because it's like, I'm sure like most people are actually over 18, but you don't want to give them your name and address,
No.
do you? Right?
Oi, you need a license. You need a license for that pornography.
It's like, I'd rather stay anonymous, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. I'll just go to the other 99 billion sites on the internet if I want.
Exact. Isn't that funny?
So,
A prawn license.
yeah, it's not really a big deal.
Well, it is for Pornhub.
Well, yeah, sucks for them, but suffer.
I'll just start another site.
Bye, Maddie. So yeah, I'll
Okay,
be back
yeah, I gotta
tomorrow
go too.
morning at
Yeah.
10 and Eastern, and then 5 p.m. Eastern for day 3.
Yeah, I probably can't stream until your Thursday because
Okay.
I've got so many doctor's appointments. My stupid job.
Aw, poor thing.
I know. Hopefully, one of these doctors will give me some damn drugs.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
All right, guys. Well, I shall thank you, Snivels, for the gift of memberships, and I shall see you tomorrow. Bye.